Coming up, London prepares to lift the lockdown now. Tonight, London prepares to reopen after lockdown. Well, MPs will vote on the new tier system in an hour. Also ahead. Good evening. In 6 hours' time, the current lockdown will be over and the capital will be returned to Tier 2 restrictions, although there'll be tougher ones than before. The falling infection rates show lockdown has worked. Cases have dropped across the capital. 4 boroughs are now below 100 cases per 100,000. Well, at 7 o'clock tonight, MPs will vote for the new restrictions, which will be in place until February. The vote is expected to pass, despite many Tory MPs voting against it. Our political correspondent Simon Harris on how London is preparing to reopen. London's Tavistock Centre, the country's only gender identity development service for children, has suspended all new referrals for puberty blockers for under 16s following a landmark ruling at the High Court. The case was brought against the centre by Kira Bell, a woman who began taking puberty blockers aged 16 before detransitioning. Well, the ruling means cross-sex hormones can only be given if authorised by a court. Our senior correspondent Ron K. Phillips reports. The government has agreed an £825 million loan to finance the completion of Crossrail. Next tonight, time is running out for campaigners to stop a deportation flight to Jamaica due to leave tomorrow. The Home Office says the flight will deport convicted murderers and rapists. Well, human rights campaigners say no one who has been in the UK since they were a child should be deported regardless of the offence. More than 80 black British public figures have urged airlines to refuse to assist the government with the flight. Well, joining me now is Bella Sankey from Detain. Bella, let's begin with you. What more detail do we have on this flight? When's it due to leave? Do we know how many people are on board? And do you have any detail of the crimes that they've committed? Some people have already been taken off the flight.
Yes, that's
true. That everyone will be taken off the flight. That will actually be stopped in 11th hour, if you like. Incredibly distressing. Of course, Leroy Logan, let's just bring you in at this point. Let's just hear, the Home Office position that they've made clear to us today. They say, we make police superintendent. What is your response to that statement from the Home Office? But convicted murderers and rapists, should they not be deported? Logan, thank you so much for talking to me. And Bella Sankey. Next tonight, police have apologised to a woman in her 80s after officers broke into a house twice in 24 hours, responding to an abandoned 999 call that she didn't make. Darrell Calder has lived on her own in her home for 30 years. Well, it's left her upset, scared and concerned it may happen again. She spoke to Katie Barnfield. Still to come. But first, it is a break from the usual subjects of maths, English and science. Primary school pupils in South London were today in rap class. Rap therapy was set up to help children with their mental health. The aim is not to create rappers, but to help the pupils by using the music as a form of self-expression. Ria Chatterjee went along. A teenager from Kensal Rise has now raised the £500,000 he needed for experimental cancer treatment in Singapore. Well, champion Lewis Hamilton will miss out on this weekend's Grand Prix in Bahrain after testing positive for coronavirus. To music now, and cast your minds back to 2012, the Britain's Got Talent final and this singing duo. Jonathan Antoine was only 17 then, he's now 24, with a couple of #1 selling classical albums already under his belt, and he has a new record out just in time. Well, the ITV News is up next. Here's Mary with a look at what's happening. As I said, Sally is here.
Sally, advice? Don't drink, don't shout and rest.
Just wants us all to be terribly well behaved. But it is the 1st of December, yes, and the capital is getting ready for Christmas, finally, now. Now, Sally, a familiar face has returned to the streets of Finchley, I believe.
That's right. Was keen to get back in touch with some of his former customers. He didn't know if any of them...
And that is it. We are back with the late update just before 11 tonight. Coming up, Mary with the ITV Evening News. But from me and the rest of the London team, bye-bye.